Hello, my name is Luke Mund and I'm the Digital Regional Coach for the Southeast region. Today we're going to be talking about how to use the technology of Bridges website with the Seesaw platform. We're going to be focusing on the technology side of how to use these two resources together. This is not a math curriculum video. If you need math curriculum help or math content area help, please reach out to your math specialist or the CSCI math specialist as well. So we're going to talk about 5 different items from Bridges. Feel free to skip around for this video because it will be a little bit longer than normal, covering all 5. We're going to start with curriculum resources, then talk about tech enhanced items, number corner, workplaces, and math at home. So to get started, we have created a lovely template for you for Bridges. So I'm going to go to add an activity. And then I'm going to search school and district to find our our Bridges template. Then I'm going to search DPS EdTech. DPS EdTech will get you all of our templates, so you can use any of these, but for our Bridges lesson today, we're going to be talking about this here. So I'm going to pull up that DPS template for Bridges lessons, and I'm going to make sure to click the heart. That adds it to my library. And then I want to make a copy of this. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a copy for each day with my students, and I'm going to have the similar format. That's the benefit of using template, is that my days look very similar for all of my students. They have a very predictable environment for the remote setting. I would give it to then the name, so I can assign it the Bridges unit and the session time here. I would give instructions for my students, and then I would start adding in the activities. So I'm going to click on this instructions here. And you can see I've built the schedule for my students for the whole day. I like to use student-friendly language of independent work time, whole class time. Feel free to use synchronous or asynchronous. Label these however you want to for your class. These are just some student-friendly because this is an example 2nd grade class. So my first Bridges resources is going to be just their curriculum resources, and I'm going to add this in as the first activity during my whole group time. Again, I can call this synchronous time up here if I want to teach my students those terms. So I'm going to come to the Bridges resources now, and most of my resources are going to be under curriculum. And then I'm going to open up Bridges in Math 2nd grade, and I'm going to find my student workbook. I'm going to open up my workbook. I'm going to scroll to the page that I want. Now you can download this, but it'll be a rather large PDF and only 20 pages can get into Seesaw. So the method I like to use is taking a screenshot. So I'm going to take a screenshot of the first page, and then there's actually a second page here. So I'm going to take a screenshot of my second page here as well. And then I'm going to come back to Seesaw and I'm going to paste in my screenshots. So when I open up my screenshot editor here, you can see my copies here. You can use any screenshot, Mac, PC, whatever, it does not matter, but I'm going to open this up here for my students, make it a little bit bigger for them to read, and then I'm going to change my activity name to Children on the Train here. I'm going to edit my text box here for my students to be able to see that. And then I actually have a second page. So I'm just going to duplicate this page here since it's the same activity. And I'm going to then paste in my second page here. So now my students have, as our first whole group or synchronous activity, we're going to work on Children on the Train, and they have their 2 pages here. I also then can do number corner with my students here, and this is built into the template. Number corner works in largely the same way, in that I would come down to the student materials under number corner for 2nd grade. I'd view the book and I would scroll to find the page that I want them to do, and I would take screenshots of this and dump the screenshots into Seesaw here. This is the easiest way to get our activities into Seesaw. Then I also can do some of the special items that Bridges has recently launched. So besides their PDFs that then I get into Seesaw with screenshots, I'm going to go to Home, and then I'm going to come down here for Resources and Support for 2021. And I have a number of new things that they have launched here. So I'm going to go to 2nd grade, and I'm going to open up Unit 1 here. If you ever get confused on any of the click paths here, because there are a lot of clicks today, just repeat back on the video. That's the lovely thing about doing these remote videos here. So I'm going to just grab like unit or module 3 here. I'm going to come down, and there's this fun activity that is all about battling bugs. So when I open this up, it opens up this lovely workspace for my students to do, and it has multiple pages. I turn pages by the bottom right here, and I can actually have my students work in this space here. This is far superior than anything I can do in Seesaw, so I actually want to share this with my students. So I'm going to grab this link at the top that's very unique. And for my tech enhanced item, I can do this in small group, I can do this in whole group, I can do this as asynchronous, however, but I'm going to add in my tech enhanced item here. So we add in a link by clicking the 3 dots on the left and then entering in a link here. This will make a clickable link for my students to go to, and you can see it even gives a nice preview of the activity. This means that my students will leave Seesaw for this piece, and they then can complete the activity on the site here. Now, how do I know my students have done the work? We have this extension installed on all DPS Chromebooks. It's called Post to Seesaw. If I take this here and I can use the screen capture built into this, it will dump in my student work into the journal section of my work. So it will not appear in this activity for my students what they post their screenshot. It will go to the journal directly. So just know that, but that's how then we can have students work on any of these activities. We also have a number of math apps like a free number counter, number lines, other apps that are available from the Math Learning Center that students can use, and then they would use this same extension here, the Post to Seesaw extension, to capture what they want and make sure that the teacher can see what they are doing for their work here. We also have workplaces. This again can be done synchronously or asynchronously. So I will show you how to do that. We're going to come back in Bridges, and I'm going to go to digital workplaces here. So these are more second grade resources. So digital workplaces here. And I have a number of activities that I can do with my students here. So I'm going to say like making a sum, and it would be the same kind of activity that I would grab the link and then drop in my link to this page, and then I would use that same screenshot editor, the Post to Seesaw, for my students to complete the work here as well. I then would give my students an exit ticket of some sort. I can do this as some more of our curriculum resources. I can make something up on my own, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then at the end, I'm going to do a math at home extension. Not that our exit ticket doesn't matter, it's really important. Sorry about that. Math at home then is going to be an optional extension, and that can be a homework thing that they do. Math at home is kind of like an extra thing in Seesaw from the way that it's been explained to me. And so then I can come back to my special 2021 resources, and I go math at home right here. And I have special activities then that I can give out to my students. Again, I'm going to open up the activity here. I'm going to grab the link, and I can post this in as either an optional thing, a homework thing, an extension thing, however I want to use these resources. Again, this video is just about taking the resources from the Bridges site and getting them into our template. So I have a number of screenshots from PDFs, I have a number of link outs, and then I can use the Seesaw extension here of Post on Seesaw. So this is how to use those resources together. Again, reach out to your regional curriculum specialist for math and the math team from CSCI if you need any more help.